funny, you know, it's funny when I'm hunting and I make these videos, people always ask, tell us more about that gun. What's that rifle you got there? And I've gone over it in other videos, but I guess there's so many videos now, it's hard to find. But the rifle, I got 3 rifles. That's all I got. I'm not a gun guy. I got a Ruger number 1, one of the stainless ones with the gray colored laminate wood stock. And the 300 Winchester Magnum, got one of those. I got a Remington 700 and 243 left-handed bolt, blued stock, blue barrel and wood stock. Got one of those. I use that for deer hunting fairly often. I'm here, and I got my 300 short mag Montana mountain rifle, Montana Rifle Company, whatever. I'm tired, man. See, I'm not a gun guy. I know how to shoot them. I know how to get that bullet where I want it to go. But they're just a tool to me. Guaranteed, you guys see my bow here, so you're probably going to be asking me about it. It's a first PSC X-Force, I think. It was given to me as a tip from Rocky Drake. Rocky Drake Outdoors. You can probably Google him. You might have some videos online still. He's a PSE rep, PSE TV guy. And this bow hadn't been on the shelf yet for public, and I guided him to a big record book moose on a TV show, and he gave me the bow at the end of the hunt as a tip. And this little piece of metal I got in the stabilizer, actually, it's a shelf bracket, and I rebent the end of it, punched it out with a drill so it fit the stabilizer, and I have a small video camera that I bolt onto this for when I'm deer hunting, because I vowed that I'm going to get my monster blacktail with this bow and on video. Set the goals high, right? But that's what it is. I shoot mechanical broadheads. I don't even know what the hell the name of these things are anymore, because at the time, about 5 years ago, I probably bought 8 packs of these things. I haven't had to buy them since. So, and I'm not a gear person. I don't watch it. I don't look for it. I don't talk about it. I've got sharp, brand new broadheads. It's a 4-arrow quiver, and I got my flat shooting bow. It's older. I don't have any reason to buy a new one. The thing works awesome. It puts the arrow where I want it to go. That's all I'm worried about. So there you go. How's that for a big, lengthy talk on my gear? I hunt simple. I rely more on skill than I do on the equipment, in a way, right? I mean, I'm going to use that bow for what? 3 seconds? This whole year? Maybe? And I might use my rifle for the same 3 seconds, tops, this year, and that's it. And that's out of possibly 45 days straight solo hunting on these mountains for deer. Anyway, babbling on. What do we got? Listen to this. Hey Steve, thanks for doing what you do, and I'm sorry for the loss of your horse. That really sucks. Thank you for those kind words. And it does really suck. I just had to go by the tree where he is on the way up here. And that pain is still... It's a weird pain. You know, a lot of people always say their pet was their best friend. That horse was my best friend, for real. And it just kills me. It just still frustrates the shit out of me that he's not here. It's so weird. Anyway, I'm not going to get going on that, but thank you for these kind words. Oh, macaroni. I'm writing because I feel like there is a perspective that has not been shared yet, but I think it will help speed up the realization that we, as a civilization, don't know what we don't know. At any given point in history, including right now, humans are conceited enough to think they have all the answers. No shit. How bizarre is that? There was a time when it was widely accepted the Earth was at the center of the universe, and also that the world was flat. Let me take a minute out to address the flat Earth thing. I don't know how many times somebody has commented or texted or emailed me, the Earth's flat, the Earth is flat, why would this and why would that? Look, for all you future flat Earthers, I don't give a shit if the Earth's flat. I don't care if the Earth is shaped in a pyramid. I don't care. This water's still going to run downhill to where we're going to drink it. These mountains are still going to be beautiful, and I'm still going to go hunting and fishing all the time. If it's flat, it's flat. If it isn't, it isn't. I don't give a shit. Do I believe it's flat? No. But I don't care if it is or not. I don't care. All right? So whoever it is and why you feel compelled to scream out the Earth is flat on my channel or on my social media, quit doing it. It's falling on dead eyes and dead ears. All right? There are a ton of other examples, but let's stick with those for the moment. The view and understanding of the world at those times was wildly inaccurate, but that didn't stop the masses from believing and teaching incorrect ideas as the generations passed. It didn't make people wrong for believing these incorrect ideas. It just made it harder for those who had proof to make their case. History has also shown us that those who were able to prove the theories were true were not treated kindly, not by their peers, not by the governments, nor by religious figures. New ideas or ideas that go against mainstream are perceived as a threat to our way of life. But they are anything but a threat. They are an opening to a greater awareness and understanding about the world we live in. These beings are one of those ideas that threaten the status quo. I don't know or care why, it's just the way it is. For some people and governments cling to ideas long after proof has been offered up to the contrary. Denying alternative possibilities seems to give governments the ability to control the population. Whether that is right, wrong, or indifferent, I couldn't care less. One of the things that I admire most about what you're doing is finding people who aren't asking you to believe them. They don't need you to believe them. If they did need you to believe, they would be showing their videos and stories to local news and selling their Bigfoot stories to the press. I've always found it hard to believe people who demand what they saw as real and defend their position to feel validated. They have a need to be validated. That makes it hard for me and a lot of other people to take them serious. The people who send you their experiences don't need anyone to believe them. What I like about your approach is that you're simply presenting evidence and anecdotes. There is no convincing, no selling. People just need to figure it out for themselves. I'm fairly smart, but I don't actually know how electricity works. I don't know exactly what happens when I flip a light switch, but I do know that lights come on when I flip the light switch. I can't actually see the radio waves being picked up by my car radio when I'm driving down the road, but I can damn sure hear the music. I also can't see the actual waves in my microwave heating my drink, but when I take it out, it's hot as hell. I've also never seen God, but I've seen the sun rise and set in stunning ways, and I've seen both my children miraculously born. I haven't seen a lot of things, and I don't necessarily understand exactly how things work, but that doesn't mean that they don't exist, because they do. I don't need to see one of these beings to know they exist. There's simply too much evidence to ignore. There will be a day when there is no need for you to share these stories about these beings, because the world will gain critical mass and they will be accepted as part of our world. It's going to happen. At that point, it would be ridiculous to have you sharing stories, just like it would be ridiculous to read stories about how the earth is not flat. It starts with you. It starts with you not giving a shit about what other governments and other people say. Just keep doing what you're doing. The rest of the world will catch up. Rock on, Rob Cass. P.S. Feel free to use my name, but it really doesn't change anything one way or the other. Okay, Rob. Thank you very much for emailing us that and pointing out what to a lot of us is the obvious. And there's, of course, is going to be the other side of the coin where a lot of people are going to get absolutely offended with what you just said and they're going to unsubscribe. Oh, life is delicious and fun, isn't it? All right, here we go. Listen to this. Hopefully that battery's still ripping. Hello, Steve. First, I want to say thank you for being a source of honest information for people like myself. My story is really recent. It happened just 4 days ago on Halloween, no less. I was blacktail hunting in the Yakult Burn State Forest in Washington State. I'd borrowed my pop's binoculars for this season, and 2 days prior, I knocked one of the rubber eye cups off and lost it somewhere out there, and was really pissed about it because they were an old pair of Steiners, and I doubted I would ever find a replacement. Anyway, I crawled in before first light on the old access roads up to one of my favorite areas to hunt. I was after a big for my area 4-pointer who is past his prime and has been shrinking since at least last year. I was still hunting in the timber next to an old clear cut when I almost always see deer. After a while, I realized I hadn't seen or heard anything for about an hour. It was probably around 1 p.m. at that time, so I stopped to eat, just in the shadows on the edge of the clear cut. I was just about to get back up after eating when I heard a knocking from across the clear cut, and instantly the hair on the back of my neck stood up. After a few minutes, the knocking started from behind me as well, but much closer, probably 30 yards. That scared me shitless. So I stood up and turned around to get out of there. Right in front of me, just about 20 yards away, was one of these creatures. It was huge, dark gray, hair all over, probably 500 pounds. Before I could even shoulder my rifle, it stuck its arm out, dropped something, then turned and ran away from me. That's when I noticed two more creatures behind the first who turned and ran as well. The other ones had the same colors and was roughly the same size. I was frozen for about 5 minutes, not wanting to move because my truck was exactly the way they had run. That sucks. Eventually I decided I had to get out of there, so I started to back to the truck. I went over to where the creature stood to see what it had dropped, and I shit you not, on the moss at my feet was the eyepiece to my pop's binoculars. I know it's crazy, but that thing brought it back to me. You're the first person I've told this to, because before seeing these things for myself, I never would have believed a word of this story. I grew up in the area right next to Battleground Lake, 5-ish miles from where I was, and had never experienced these people before. I know the story is crazy, but I also know what I saw, and it was not human. If you choose to share this, please don't use my name. I'm only 21 years old, and I'm studying to be a lawyer currently. Before you judge me too hard for joining the ranks of the other spineless shitbag lawyers, I just want to say we desperately need more good, honest people in these positions, and that's what I'm trying to do. But I honestly believe if some of the people above me right now associated my name with the story, it could really hurt my future. My question for you is this. Do you think it is safe or wise for me to go back to that area? I'm effing terrified by what I saw, but at the same time they basically helped me out by bringing me back the lost piece of the binoculars, so I don't know what to think of them. I already missed the rest of my season. I did not punch my tag this year because I've been too scared to go back up there. Anyway, thank you again for what you do for people like me. I'd probably be convincing myself and crazy right now if I hadn't come across your YouTube channel and heard other stories. Sorry for the long email, but there is my story. I know what I saw. I won't be convinced otherwise at this point. If you find this compelling enough to share, please do, but please don't say my name if you can help it. Thank you. All right, man. Thank you for that. I don't have a hate on for all lawyers. For lots of them, obviously. Most of us do, right? I mean, there is a lot of shitbag lawyers out there. And I think that is absolutely awesome if you're in the mindset to stay on the straight and narrow and try to clean up that trade. That would be super awesome if you pull it off. And I encourage you to keep going. And as far as your experience goes with that, 3 of them. There's no shortage of people seeing numerous at a time. Usually it's just a piece of one, eyeball or a head. But 3 of them, standing there blatant, and that thing actually took. There must be something that sensed in your soul is good, because that thing knew you had a high-power rifle in your hands, and it fully exposed itself to you, and dropped that frickin' eyepiece. How amazing is that? Would I go back hunting there? Look behind me, man. Look where I am right now. You know what? How many experiences have I had this year? Since last November, I had one. What have I had? 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I've had 4 experiences just this last year. And I'm still here. I'm still here alive in front of the camera. I mean, if you had boulders thrown at you, or logs or trees thrown at you, or worse, growling, screaming, yeah, I wouldn't go back up there. But I've said it before, I've said it a dozen times. What you do is you go back up there. You get up there at first light, you get up there in the dark with your coffee like you normally do, and you test the waters. You get out of your truck, work through your own fear that you brought there with you to see if there's any fear present. And that's what I do, right? It's like this morning. I got out of my truck this morning. I'm just waiting to feel that creepiness in the side of my head facing the timber. There's nothing. I don't feel any pressure. And all of a sudden my mind just slowly goes to focusing on the task at hand, and I go off and I go hunting for the day, like I did today. And that's what I strongly suggest you do. especially if it's a great big old hammer revert buck up there. Come on, man, you gotta go get that buck, and you're not gonna get it if you don't go back. And those three beings could have had your ass anytime they wanted, all right? And you are going to have to accept the fact that these things are all around us all the time, because they are. And don't let it ruin your outdoors. Just don't let it ruin it. Don't do it. Go back. If I was close enough, I'd go back with you. I'd go there with you in a heartbeat and go hunting with you, and to get your courage back up and fix that little hiccup that you had there, because it's not fair. It's not fair that so many people have this ruined for them, right? And just like when this happened, just Halloween, just the other day, right? How many times I said in the past too, there's going to be a lot of people that watch this channel, laugh and scoff at it. And I'm not saying you did, but there has been a shit pile of people come and laugh and scoff at my channel. And there isn't a question about it. A certain percentage of those people, they are about to have their own experience. There's no way getting out of it. It's coming. It is coming. It's all too common. And it is happening. I've had numerous people email me and say they laughed at it, laughed at the channel, and now they got to eat crow, and they go on to tell me what just happened. But don't give up, man. Go back. It's funny. I had an old girlfriend of mine years ago. She had one. I told the story before. She had one stooped over, running, looking in the window of her car at her and her girlfriend from that far from her face when they were 19 or 20. And then later on, her house, which is on the other side of this hill behind me, I ran into the grocery store, and she said the Sasquatch left her an ancient, antique camera up on the trail behind her house. On the trail, left it for her there, because that's where she was doing her hikes, stay in shape. It's one of those rural properties where the paved road goes up the middle of the valley, and then a long driveway into the house, and then straight at the back of the mountain, the back of that property. There's no access back there for anybody else, unless you come in through past the house at the driveway, right? And I never did go see the camera, but it sounded interesting. But there is numerous acts of kindness, right, and compassion from these wild people towards us. Shouldn't even call them wild, just call them free. They're free people, right? And they're living free of the bullshit that we've created for our societies. Bravo to them.